Hi, I'm Rappler Entertainment Editor Marguerite De Leon.
And I'm Isabad, Lifestyle and Entertainment Reporter.
And welcome to the latest episode of Stand By Me, Rappler's talk show on all things fandom. And today we have our very special guests from the three active Star Wars communities here in the Philippines. We have Lawrence Aliwalas of the 501st Legion, Tristan Lazo of the Rebel Legion, and Timothy Salubayba of FightSaber Philippines, the three commanding officers. So welcome to Rappler, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
It's an honor. We feel so honored with all you. And
The
thank you so much.
costumes.
Yeah, it's the costumes. It's the costumes that's making me ano. So let's start first with to give people like an idea of how diverse your groups are. Could you give us? Could you tell us more about what your jobs are outside of the fandom? Let's start with Tim.
Right. I do work as an IT professional, and yeah, basically a lot of tech and stuff. That's what I do.
Okay. How about you, Lawrence?
I'm a toy designer, so I collaborate with different artists. So locally and internationally, we do some custom shows here and abroad.
That is so awesome.
Thank you.
And you, Tristan.
I'm a paralegal at a company at a construction company, roofing. So, but I'm currently the head of the legal department right now. So a lot of paperwork, contracts, meeting with clients, and those kinds of things.
So very diverse nga. So can you each tell me how each of you got into Star Wars to begin with? Let's start naman this time with ano.
I got into it very young. I think I was around 5 or 4 years old because I lived in the Middle East with my family. So when my dad is away at work and my mom is busy with chores, my dad would play old movies in our with DVDs, and one of the movies that he played was Star Wars, and it kind of stemmed from that. And then just I think a year later in 2005, Revenge of the Sith came out. So that was the movie I saw in theaters, and it stemmed from there, basically.
How about you, Lauren?
For me, well, Tristan saw it in DVDs. I saw it sa VHS. So
So there's an age discrepancy
wait,
here.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
get it.
So-
I get it.
So yeah, I started seeing Star Wars in home entertainment. So from there, I started to research. Then I found out about this group that focuses on costuming about Star Wars. So from there, I decided to contact the local group here that manages the 501st Legion. So that's how I started.
Okay. And finally, Tim.
Yeah. I started off with sci-fi stuff. So watching sci-fi and then stumbled on Star Wars, then falling in love with it. And then during one of the conventions, I probably saw their groups in the conventions and FightSaber groups. And I figured out where the training was and when the invites are. And then I joined. So I started training with them until I became a full-fledged member of the FightSaber.
Collectively, like how long have you guys known each other? Around how many years na?
I started in 2015, so I think almost 9 years.
Tagal na.
Yeah, I've known. Yeah.
For me, I started 2012 for my group. Then from there, we started to have more and more members as we go along.
I started 2018, I think. So
You're the
yeah,
youngest.
yes, 2018.
So any three of you can answer this question. What makes Star Wars so conducive to fandoming?
I don't know. Probably it's the story and the characters that we encounter along the way, the lessons. So as fans, we get to see ourselves in these characters. So I think that's the reason for it to be that way.
So each of you guys represent one group. So the 501st Legion are the bad guys,
Yes.
the Rebel Legion are the good guys, and the FightSaber Philippines.
Yeah.
So, for full disclosure, hindi po ako fan ng Star Wars. So, wala po ako napapanood.
It's okay.
So, just to like inform the viewers rin na hindi familiar with the whole fandom community, can you guys tell us how did each group came about? Ano po yung difference nila from each other? Tapos, why do the bad guys and the good guys are separated? And also, can you like give us like more information sa mga costumes yun po?
Okay.
Like, sino yung portray nyo? Ganun.
Sure. So I'll go first. The 501st Legion basically represents the bad guys. So we have the Stormtroopers, Darth Vader. So for me, I'm wearing a biker scout, and this is from Return of the Jedi. So we need to separate the groups since it's a very large fandom. So you have Jedis, you have the bad guys, which is the 501st, and you know. When we go out naman in the public, we go as one pa rin. So it's just that we have different categories since costuming group is a really challenge for us here. So yeah, that's the reason why we have to hati-hatiin yung groups. Yes.
So so the 501st was actually the first group to be created way back in 1999 in the US.
Oh.
So we're around, I think, 25. Well, the 501st is around 25 years old, and then the Rebel Legion spawned off not long after, because they said we also needed a group for good guys. So in the Philippines as well, not long after the formation of the 501st Legion in 2004, the Rebel Legion also followed. So and then around, I think, 2014 or 2015. FightSaber Philippines was also 2015 was established here in the Philippines.
Napansin ko na the 501st Legion has the most followers, like also social media, like by quite a bit. What is it about the bad guys that makes it all the more popular over the good guys?
Yeah, tsaka bakit po kayo nag-decide sa good guys tapos siya sa bad guys?
Well, for me, it's the armor probably. Since I'm kind of shy, I'm an introvert, so I like having my face covered with a mask or a helmet when I'm out in the public. And for these guys, I think they prefer the good guys since they're the ones wielding the lightsaber. Yeah.
They also look very comfy, right?
Yes.
We can attest to that.
Yeah. The whole day they could probably just march on.
Yeah, they're just lounging around, parang
chill lang,
nakapajama.
chill.
Yeah. Okay.
So for us, the good guys, these are, well, like you said, they're more comfortable. We live in a very tropical country, so for those people who don't really want to deal with armor or just want to be more comfortable, they do Jedi, X-wing pilots, other even aliens that have like tailored costumes. So that's catered towards the Rebel Legion, and it's also more of a preference. So like for me, my whole setup is from Revenge of the Sith as Obi-Wan. So if you really have a specific character that you want to wear or go out as, you go out in the Rebel Legion. Unlike with the 501st, they're all like grouped together, stormtroopers, bikers. Although they also have their own face characters, but like if you want to be part of a bigger group or a larger group where you're all together, it's
Pero we still have we cross naman.
Cross over.
Like for Tristan here, you also have a costume naman for the 501st. So
I see.
so mix match then.
Syempre, it's not a strict thing.
For FightSaber naman, we're the difference from them is we're the same, right? Jedi.
Yeah.
For us, we are the performing side. So we do the choreography and we do the like
Cool
we teach the
stuff.
kids
Yeah.
how to do the saber and saber actions. So basically the role plays, we do it. The ones on stage, on conventions, we do that.
That's so cool. Do you have, Lawrence, any tips on like sitting in the going around in those costumes?
Need to stretch a lot first.
Oh,
Before
okay,
we
right. May warm up.
Yeah, may warm up. Pero we do have breaks naman. So So, the whole
Question
day,
ako,
yes.
where do you find those costumes?
Yeah, to begin with, like where do you get
How
these
much?
costumes?
Yeah.
Locally, we have suppliers, pero internationally then we have licensed suppliers
Yep,
then.
that's right.
So, for us, we just do our research. First, we ask kung ano ba talaga yung costume that we want. So, if you want a stormtrooper costume, basically, we have local suppliers. Or if you prefer yung mga international. Kasi sometimes the sizes vary din.
Yeah.
We have bigger characters then. Kunyari, you have Chewie, like for Rebel Legion. So, if you're comfortable with characters like that, then we could help you out naman by just messaging our group.
Yung iba DIY. For example, tailoring like Jedi suits and
Yes.
other costume characters. So if it's not much of the armor side, DIY,
Yeah.
Yes.
they can make it. Yeah.
Yes.
As long as they pass the standards for the costume, then yes.
So we'll actually get into the standards a little bit
Ay,
later
yeah.
on. Yeah. So we actually just missed May the 4th. So sobrang sayang. But could you tell us more about what happened during May the 4th? Because we saw on social media that you guys had like a big event dun sa may PGC.
Yeah.
Can any of you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so kasi we were brainstorming before that every time there's a May the 4th here sa Philippines, it's just a get-together, we watch the movies.
Yeah.
So we were thinking then recently, especially after the pandemic, I think we should start to get out and have another gathering for May the 4th.
As a group.
Oh yes, as a group.
Collab.
Yes,
Yeah.
so we were
Usap na kami.
thinking na why not celebrate it again in High Street. So we had a parade. Then we also have storytelling with our partners there. And we also had them to perform some of the Jedi Academy and some performances then doon sa stage.
That's so cool. Admittedly, like I would assume that more Star Wars fans are kind of older because mas exposed sila dun sa films, the original films. So like, how do kids respond to your characters? Like, how do kids respond to pag nandun kayo out in the open?
I guess with the help of streaming na rin. Kasi recently, they're having more shows
Yeah.
for kids and for adults.
That's right.
So I think it helps the fandom then to have more stories. I think there are more stories na hindi pa na sasabi din na sa mga kids. So I think when kids see us in costume, at least they get to see a representation of the characters that they see in
The
films.
movies, yeah.
So yeah.
It's also like a generational thing. So, like a lot of, like in most cases when we're out there, it's always, it's the parents that oh, Star Wars, and then they're oh, look, it's Luke Skywalker, or it's a stormtrooper. So that's also one way of having the kids be exposed to it. And since Star Wars has been around for 40 years, it's really a generational thing. So.
There's also more like content right now in the streaming platforms, like for kids targeted.
Right, yeah,
So
like the cartoons.
Yeah,
specifically.
cartoony
Yeah,
versions, anime versions of it. So it's more of if there's a generation gap, that bridges the gap in between. So yeah.
And then sa May the 4th, you also partnered with Make-A-Wish.
Yes.
So what were the goals for that particular partnership?
Actually, our partnership with Make-A-Wish is, it started in the US. So they partnered 501st and Make-A-Wish. So every time there's an event, we try to do some charity work as well, because that's the mission of the group as well. Aside from costuming, we also do charity works. So yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, you've already mentioned the charity works po. Especially for like 501st
Yes.
Legion. Kasi we saw the social media accounts that you visit charities, orphanages. Is there any memorable like event from your visits before?
Actually, when we do visits, it's usually a surprise.
Oh.
So the kids doesn't really know
No,
that they're going to be visited by Star Wars
Saya.
characters. So I guess ang memorable instances is when they get to see the characters. Kasi parang they have no idea na they'll have a visitor, that Darth Vader will be there, or some generalists are going to be there.
Yep.
So I think it's more of yung expression ng kids, yun yung memorable sa amin.
Yes.
May natatakot ba?
There are some,
Yeah.
Depende
especially
kasi.
when you have Vader out.
Yeah.
Or Darth Maul.
Or Darth Maul.
Oh,
yeah.
that's,
Darth
that's
Maul
worse.
is
Oh,
Medyo
yeah.
ominous yung face.
Oh.
Yes.
Wala pa naman mag-Emperor Palpatine sa...
Meron.
Meron.
Yeah, we
Meron.
have
We
a
have
member.
Emperor Palpatine.
That's so scary. Okay. Okay, so actually, Tim, we've
Yeah.
actually seen members of FightSaber Philippines here.
Just right outside.
Yeah. Like, dati nag-gym ako, tapos pag nag-treadmill ako, tapos nakita ko kayo. Tapos parang, sana nagla-lightsaber na lang ako. Parang iniisip ko. So how did these practices come about? And like, if somebody comes across you guys at a park somewhere, can they join? Like, how's the process?
Okay. So basically, for joining, we do only have certain times of the year that we accept people. So it's not every day that you can join FightSaber. So we call it open training. And when we post that on our social media, that's when we like call for arms. We're accepting new recruits. Not automatically you'll be in, but of course, well, it's like a process.
Yeah.
A process to get through, and then if you're all good, then you're gonna be inducted to our team. For the trainings, when you see us here, it's every Tuesday. We usually do it in BGC or here in the Capitol Commons. So every Tuesday we gotta practice because we're the performing side of all of the groups, and we have to maintain our physique. We have to maintain
Yes.
our limber body so we can
Tama.
still
I mean, you are-
perform.
Technically, it's a martial art.
Performance,
Yes.
It's athleticism.
Yes.
Does your lightsaber have to be like an official lightsaber? Is there like a thing about that?
Official.
Not exactly official, but I would say it has to be dual ready. So it's like combat ready because these sabers can be hit and not break.
Right, right.
So it's really strong. It's a polycarbonate blade. And even if I hit it with another blade, it's still good. Not like the toy sabers
yeah.
that's out there. When you hit it, the light breaks. So
Right.
it's your investment is gone.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So thanks, sir.
Yeah.
Keeping in mind for
Yes.
people who want to join you guys.
Since you've mentioned about the recruitment, is that also the same with the other groups? Like, may certain periods of time lang po ba kayo na nag-accept ng applicants or new members?
For us naman, we're open. So as long as you have
Interest.
the passion and you have basically the kit to work on, we'll guide you with the membership process. So we have officers that would help you with the process of application. So yeah, as long as you meet the criteria naman, okay naman for joining na the 501st.
How about
With us, it's a little bit different with us, but very similar to the 501st. With the 501st, they have a local officer that that deals with the recruitment and checks the costumes and everything. But with us, the Rebel Legion, it's the recruitment process is passed on abroad internationally. So I was actually last year, before I was a commanding officer, I was part of that group that processes recruitment, checks costumes. So for example, if a recruit wants to join the Rebel Legion, so he's going to have to submit his costume, and a random member from that group, whether he's from the US or from China or Japan, will be the one to screen that applicant and basically email them and be like, oh, we received your application, we reviewed your application, and then congratulations, your application has been approved. You're now a member of the Rebel Legion. So their process is
different?
easier because it's localized. But with us, there are certain times where you have to wait like weeks or even a month because, of course, it's a volunteer group. Not everyone has the time. So
Actually, napansin ko, like, so far from all the fandoms that we've interviewed, you guys have the most stringent process for getting in. Kasi the other fandoms, parang, gusto ko lang si Taylor Swift. Part na ako ng fandom, ganun. So, how did you guys become commanding officers of each of your groups, by the way? Like, how does one get to that stature?
For us, me, I was nominated. And then after getting nominated, voted.
Did you have to fight to the death?
Not
A
exactly.
duel.
But sort of like it.
Okay, awesome.
For us, we have elections. So
okay.
every year we have different nominations for different members. Then when you have the most votes, you
Yeah.
get to be the CEO.
Yeah, it's the same thing with us. So we have local elections every year. So you get nominated, or a certain member gets nominated as well for the same position, and then you guys vote whoever gets to be the commanding officer.
Yeah, going back to the costumes for Rebel Legion, we noticed on social media that you have like the approval process work.
Yeah.
Can you like,
Walk us through
oo,
on how
like,
that
ano
works.
po yung standard nyo? Interesting.
Okay, oo.
So we have what we call, this is similar for all the groups. We have what we call a costume reference library, or CRL for short.
Okay.
So that costume reference library, you can find it in our respective websites or forums. So it's a list of all the requirements. For example, for me as Obi-Wan, so it's specifically listed as Obi-Wan Kenobi from Revenge of the Sith. And then there's going to be a general requirement. So you need an outer tunic, an inner tunic, the belt boxes. So you're gonna have to follow that through and through from top to bottom. Otherwise, you're gonna have to do some revisions. Even we can go as far as the type of stitching that we do on our costumes.
Okay.
So like you said, it is a little bit stringent. But that's for very specific face characters. Like for me, actually, I have to grow a beard and I have to color my hair. I'm actually on Obi-Wan.
Dedication.
Yeah, I'm actually on Obi-Wan hiatus right now.
Right. So this is illegal right now.
Yeah, it's kind of illegal right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
But after May the 4th,
He just shaved.
I did. I just
He just
shaved like
shaved.
last week because I'm on Obi-Wan hiatus because we just finished the May the 4th event.
Okay. Tapos
So-
ang init ngayon. So,
Yeah.
So for me, like a face character, I have to do the beard, the prosthetics, the hair color, even as far as the eyes and everything.
Right.
So yeah.
That's
I go for
intense.
armor na lang.
Oh, mag-armor na lang ako. That's so cool.
Pwede rin naman generic.
Yeah.
Like
also
a
have generics.
like a generic Jedi.
Generic Jedi.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Okay, so we touched on what you call this, yung what do you call this, the expansion of the Star Wars universe kanina. So I'm gonna play like a bit of a devil's advocate. So parang with the advent of like Disney Plus and the Star Wars franchise being owned now by Disney, so syempre parang there's a sudden explosion of Star Wars related content. How did you guys feel about that? I mean, you technically all three of you guys got in before the
The
Disney
expansion.
Plus explosion. So, parang ano yung initial reactions nyo when that happened?
Our initial reaction was this is definitely something that's never been done before because it's we're like you said, we're in the age of streaming and everything. But I think for us fans, we're just really happy that there's something that Star Wars is just right around the corner, or it's a click of a TV remote or a tap on the phone. Because I remember there would be those times when there was Star Wars shows on Cartoon Network. Star Wars: The Clone Wars was still live on air. I would have to wait like a week or 2 weeks for a new episode to come out. With streaming, it's all there. You just have to go to your library, and it's the same thing with the movies. We have to wait 2-3 years before a new movie comes out. Now it's just right around the corner, and I think that's really
Actually, I
good.
think it's a plus for us.
Yeah.
Because it's already a pool. It's a pool there that you can just pick whatever you want. So if you feel like you're watching the first trilogy or the new Mandalorian, so it's just right there. Click of a button, just like what Tristan said. So
Actually, ang plus nun is we get to have more characters.
Yes.
Like for the Mandalorian. So we get to explore more part of the universe. So which means more costume for us. So kasi we get to have more characters. So I think we get to explore more of the Star Wars universe. And I think that's a big plus since before we wait for movies like 4, 6 years for it to complete. And now we get to have more Star Wars content. Like in a few months, we'll be having Ahsoka again.
Yeah.
So I think that's a plus
Side.
for us.
Yeah. Like, to play devil's advocate, to my devil's advocate, like, I like, the thing I like about Disney Plus having more Star Wars content is it also plays with genres more now.
Yeah.
Like, Andor is so different
Yes,
from,
yes, very
for example,
much.
Mandalorian. So parang actually don't get bored. I don't feel like, ay, nasa-saturate na yung market or whatever, because each show actually is able to stand on its own. Ayun, so there, I've just said my piece.
So, ayun, from the content, the costume, the application, as Marjorie mentioned before, sobrang intricate po nung the whole fandom community. Is there any time in being part of the whole group na parang may pinaka-challenging obstacle ba kayo kinaharap? And like, how supportive are your friends, your family members with like this whole activities?
Major challenge for us was the pandemic. Since
No more.
basically we go in events,
Yeah.
we go to hospitals, which is really a challenge for us since we're basically at home lang.
Yeah.
And to cope with that, we tried to do some virtual troops.
Yep. Online.
So we had kids logging in. They don't know what to expect. So we have partner hospitals to cater that. So I think that helped us as,
Yeah.
for us.
During the bridge time
Yes.
from the pandemic.
Yeah.
So that's a real challenge for us.
Really kept the Star Wars spirit alive. So like for us, like for Rebel Legion and 501st, we have this thing called like Rebelthon or something. So when the pandemic hit, everything was shifted into to online. So you know, Zoom meetings. You know, we would go in. Hospital visits became Zoom meetings. And then it also gave us an opportunity to explore more options and more avenues for us to push our for influence out there. So like Facebook Live, we would use that to raise funds for Make-A-Wish and stuff like that. So it was a challenge, but it was also an opportunity for us to reach more people.
For FightSaber, I think we had some challenges because we need to be physically
Performances.
doing what we do, but we managed. We did it online, so we have a camera in front, and then we're at the back when we're doing our online saber moves activities. We did something that like a streaming platform got us. You know, those streamers that go in the room. So we have FightSaber join into one of those rooms. So it's like a online convention that we joined in, and then each of the members who wanted to join that particular event joined in with their individual cameras. We had to cope because it's the pandemic.
Yeah, but
So-
the pandemic wasn't gonna stop you guys.
Of course, it
I
wasn't.
remember,
Of course not.
there was this challenge
Pass the coin? Was it?
I think
Pass the patch.
the brush for the girls.
Yeah,
Pass
the makeup.
makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, the makeup brush.
Okay.
So
What
for
about
us,
the
it was like pass the
the
saber,
lights.
pass the
Ah,
lightsaber. So we
okay.
had to do that
Yeah.
just to make sure that the Star Wars spirit gets alive and we have activities
Right.
for people. So
Okay. So speaking of support, like when you guys came here, you came with your families.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
came with each of your partners, and we actually happen to have Lawrence, your child,
Yes.
Mishka.
Mishka.
Mishka, would you like to come here and say hi?
Yeah.
Come here.
Ah,
So as you can see, our family is very supportive of what we do.
very.
So my wife, she prepared her costume. Her costume is Leia, which is who is based on the latest Kenobi,
Right.
series. So yeah, from time to time, when we have events, she comes along, and we consider her as part of the Galactic Academy. So we have a fourth group for kids.
Oh, that's
So those are catered to kids below 18.
Yeah.
So once they graduate, they could get to choose whether they'd like
one?
to join the 501st, the Rebel Legion, or
Ay, ganon.
FightSaber.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
So hopefully she joins the bad guys.
So there's a lot of pressure on you,
Yeah.
Ashka.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you do you, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like Leia, you do you.
I'll
Thank
go to mommy.
you.
Thank you, Mishka.
Fans rin
Thank
po
you.
ba yung partners yun na Star Wars?
Yes. Fans din.
Dapat
So,
lang. I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a general requirement.
Medyo deal breaker.
Deal breaker pala.
Medyo ang hirap naman if wala kang support na nakuha from your loved ones.
Yeah.
So we try to make it a family thing.
Yeah.
Like hopefully it grows since this is for our family naman. So yeah.
To get all nerdy, like, dun sa who shot first na question,
Yeah.
do you and your spouses, like,
We
agree on this
sometimes
thing?
debate. Pero I think that's the nice thing about Star Wars. We get to have discussions
Right.
right internally in the family who shot first, like you mentioned. So I think it's a nice thing for Star Wars to have families bonded with this genre.
Are they also part of your groups?
Yes, actually.
Yes.
So
Yes.
they're all part of our group. With
Same groups po ba? Or
yes.
by...
Yeah, same group actually.
Sayang kung kasya lang tayong lahat. Divided.
Sa amin din, yung son ko rin, nag-costume din siya.
Awesome.
And,
Does he also have a lightsaber?
Yes, we do.
Awesome.
Everybody has lightsaber. My wife has a lightsaber, I do, and he does.
Is it displayed in your house? Like,
Some of them, yes. I brought some of them here. So, yes.
Yes, could you show us para
sige,
So, this one-
Ito, ano, demonstration.
Ito yung po ba
There you go.
This one.
annually?
Yun.
And yeah. So when you hit it with another saber, I don't think we can hit that with that, right?
This is actually, well, with me, since I'm more of the costuming side and not on the performing side. We're more into the replica side.
Right.
So this is actually a replica of Obi-Wan
Yeah.
Kenobi's lightsaber from Revenge of the Sith. So this is also like a general requirement
Yeah.
for the costume. So and it also
It's a part of the requirement, right?
yeah. So it also has to line up.
I like that it makes a sound. It's so satisfying. Ang ganda ng question ni Isa, ito ba yung Halloween costume niyo? Or like pag Halloween, like do you do something else?
Very good question.
Basically, ito yung default. Pag wala ka
Yeah.
na-
Pag wala, ito na.
Parang it's kind of cheating if you
Yeah. Pero sometimes we do other costumes as well.
Yeah.
Like for Tristan, he also does DC or Marvel based.
So Halloween is like the one time of the year that I don't get to wear a Star
Star
Wars
Wars.
costume.
yes.
Something else.
Yeah, something else.
Like Star Trek naman or something.
Yeah. Pwede.
Sige, so what's the most important lesson you've learned from helming not just a Star Wars community, but like a community, a fandom community to begin with?
I think being in character is important. Kasi when we go out in the public, I don't go out as Lawrence. He doesn't goes out as Tristan, as Tim. We go as Star Wars characters. So they see a biker scout, they see a stormtrooper, the Jedi. And I think that's important kasi for the kids, they get to see their characters live in action, diba? So I think that's the lesson that we get to learn is to be in character talaga. Kasi I think the reaction of the kids, that's the most important thing.
And it's also keeping the magic alive.
Yes.
Yes.
For the kids.
You know, make sure that every time the kid sees you, you do a little bit of an interaction, just to make sure that they know that this character is actually Obi-Wan Kenobi, or this is actually a Jedi, or is this actually a biker scout. And I think another lesson that we've learned is just, the friendship and the relationships that are built around this community.
Yeah.
So like these guys, I've known them for like years already, so it's also a great lesson. It's just, building relationships and building a really community where everyone's welcome and where everyone's positive and optimistic and welcoming.
For me, I think a lot of patience. Yeah, because like building your costume, you have to sometimes wait for your correct material. You have to research your correct suit. Is it appropriate for what you're building? Also, patience is also needed for the groups because we're a big group. There's a very diverse amount of people, and we deal with a diverse mindset. So patience is really important to the group. That it helps out in basically getting through everything.
Yeah.
Every event. Very Jedi of you.
Yes.
Very Jedi.
Correct. It also occurred to
Very
me that
Jedi.
this is great work-life balance. Like it really provides you with like an outlet outside of your work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, ayun, basically, fandoms are like, fans are basically one of the most passionate and dedicated communities that we have. And that's one of the reasons why we want to highlight fandoms in this show. Unfortunately, we're on our last question po. So, women, yung May the 4th event is already done. Is there any upcoming projects that we should look forward to?
For
lot.
this year, we'll be having ToyCon, or usual ToyCon. It's going to be held in July. Then the main big thing that's coming to Asia is Celebration Japan. So it's a gathering of all the Star Wars nerds, basically, all over the world. And usually it's held in the US or in Europe. For a long time, we had it in Asia, in Japan, way back. And in 2 years' time, we'll be having it here in Asia again. So hopefully we all get to see each together for this gathering. So yeah, I think that's something to look forward.
Usually, we also, if we can't mention it right now, you'll see it on our socials where our next event will be. So
Yeah.
follow us on our socials so you'd know where we are.
Or find them sa Capital Commons.
Or we're just here with the lightsabers.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you so much, guys, for being here with us. It's been such a treat, and we've learned so much. So everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any fandoms or topics that you'd like us to discuss for the next Stand By Me episode, just hit us up on our social media accounts. I'm Marguerite De Leon.
And I'm Isabel.
Thank you so much for watching.